So we're going to start off first thing here in Michigan. Now, there was a lawsuit that President Trump handed out because some shaky shit was really going on over there, but oh boy. A judge rejects Trump lawsuit seeking to halt Michigan vote count. Let's see. This is not to stop the legal vote count, by the way, idiots out there. This is to stop all the ballots that are coming in after election day, which it's a fucking embarrassment what's happening in Michigan, but let's get started. A state judge on Thursday dismissed the Trump campaign's lawsuit seeking to halt the counting of absentee ballots in Michigan. Court of Claims Judge Cynthia Stephens said during a hearing she would be rejecting the campaign's lawsuit filed the previous day that alleges Republican officials had been denied access to video of ballot drop boxes. Yeah, really? Stephens said she aims to issue a written decision on Friday afternoon. The Associated Press and several networks have declared Democratic nominee Joe Biden the winner of Michigan, by a very slight and controversial margin, to say the least, considering he overperformed Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Yes, that Barack Obama in African American votes. Not by a little, but by a double-digit vote percentage. Yeah, go figure. Something seems a little off. She also said that there would be little recourse available for the campaign at this stage because the vote counting process was nearly complete. So I gotta wait for it to be complete, and then they can do a recount, and then we'll see what else happens, I guess. In this instance, where the issue is day-to-day conduct of the vote count, the individuals who bear the responsibility absent the Secretary of State, removing them from their responsibility because of this malfeasance or malfeasances lie with the local election official, Stephens said. So the relief that is being requested is substantial part is completely unavailable through the Secretary of State. Additionally, even if the relief were available, as opposed to when this suit was announced yesterday morning and the count was beginning, it was filed at 4 o'clock, at which point the count had largely proceeded, I am told. The judge continued. One other thing, why is it taking so long to just count these fucking votes? As of right now, recording, I was waiting on seeing if Nevada or Arizona would finish up, or at least have some kind of an indication. We are 3 days practically removed from the election, and how doesn't Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania not have vote totals already? It would really lead you to believe something very goofy's coming out, but I think everybody kind of senses that right now, unless you're a diehard leftist where it's like, oh, our man's winning, therefore no question shall be asked. A lot of people in the center, a lot of people that are just kind of confused by this, very slow trickling in of votes at the moment. I think everybody kind of knows something's up. Stephens added she was not persuaded by the Trump's campaign's argument that their lawsuit merited a halting of the vote count and unconvinced that there was clear legal duty on the part of anyone who is properly before this court to manage this issue. And this is important. The campaign has also filed similar suits in Pennsylvania and Georgia, where Biden is closing the gap with Trump in ongoing counts in narrow races. A judge in Georgia on Thursday dismissed the campaign's lawsuit, where Philadelphia election officials are appealing a ruling that would allow the campaign to more closely monitor the counting process. Yeah, the fact that they're kicking out Republican vote watchers, or whatever the proper terminology for that is, not allowing them to oversee the vote counting process, even though there's a bunch of different videos out there just showing people chucking ballots out and setting ballots on fire. It's not unexpected that this judge would have threw this out, but there are still more paths. You can repeal this or kick it up to the Michigan Supreme Court, which is conservatively held. So this is just merely one avenue. But she's also throwing this out on the basis that there is no evidence of fraud or any sort of impropriety. Well, I've got a whole bunch of crap here. First things first, you might have seen this one come up. Okay, I've already pre-punched in the information because the autofill comes up and it has all my information. Yeah, I'd rather that not be there. First name, so Mr. William Bradley. He was born in March. Good month. Okay, this is where it starts to get weird. Okay, so his zip code, I don't know where 48207 is. I'm sure it's a real place, but the fact that Mr. Bradley was born in 1902 might, raise a few questions. Now, why does all this information seem relevant? Well, let's search by name. He's a registered voter in Michigan, in Wayne County of all places, where they received a massive ballot dump overnight. First things first, we requested an absentee ballot for the November 3rd election, which is still going on and will be going on for a very long time. His application was received on 9/11. His ballot was sent out September 19th. Ballot was received back at the polling location on the 2nd of October. It was confirmed by Janice Winfrey at the Plymouth United Church of Christ. Godspeed to William and Godspeed to Janice Winfrey. Now, in case you forgot, he was born in 1902. He also died in 1984. Does that seem like voter fraud to you? Now, regardless of which way he voted, if he did in fact vote for President Trump or Joe Biden or anybody else down ticket, which is another funny story for another day as well, because there's a substantial amount of incomplete ballots out there, where only Joe Biden was voted for in different counties that had massive surges in the middle of the night as well. So that gets the noggin jogging a little bit now, doesn't it? So that's just part one. How about part two? Tens of thousands of ballots dropped off in USPS boxes at Detroit Absentee Ballot Processing Center at 3:30 a.m. after the election. No evidence of impropriety, eh? How about that? One day after the election, the results are still pending and will likely depend on the Rust Belt. President Donald Trump holds a strong lead in the state of Michigan. Yeah, did until magically a bunch of votes came in, kind of like these ones. In news that will likely cast doubt or further doubt on the election results, tens of thousands of absentee ballots arrived in a large U.S. Postal Service box at the TCF Center in Detroit, Michigan. That was the same center that was getting all the windows boarded up, not for rioters, but for people trying to observe and make sure that there was no impropriety happening. Yeah, that exact same center. Formerly, yeah, like it says there, Cobo Hall. That's what more people kind of refer to it as. Former Michigan State Senator Patrick Colbeck wrote that the total number of ballots dumped on the counting board totaled 38,000. Interesting. Starting Hour 13 at AV Counting Board in Detroit at Cobo Hall, the majority of the final drop of 38,000 ballots arrived at 3:45 in the morning, have yet to be counted. Military overseas ballots have yet to be counted as well. And if we know anything about that, back in 2000, the last time that there was any sort of hotly contested results, it involved Al Gore disqualifying thousands of military ballots because guess what? They tend to drift a little bit red. Go figure, right? But if you think that we're done with improprieties happening in Michigan, you'd be less than correct. We'll go ahead and say that. Fact check. Hundreds of pro-Trump ballots have been recovered in rural Michigan City. This claim has gone viral on social media. This is a touch old, but still, this is one instance, but also speaks to something that might be out there at a little bit larger of a clip as well. A recent tweet by independent journalist Jordan Epperson has gone viral after being retweeted by Donald Trump Jr. in a tweet. Epperson indicates that it is not just urban communities in Michigan that are problematic in the state with regards to electoral integrity, but also rural areas as well. Clerk has told county Republican officials that the ballots were simply misplaced and accidentally not included in the result. This indicates either complete incompetence and negligent behavior or extreme voter fraud. What do they mean by that? Big League Politics did research to prove whether or not Epperson's, terrible name to confuse that with, claim is legitimate. We quickly discovered that Epperson's tweet is backed up by the facts and logic. Pew, pew, pew. Michigan State Representative Shane Hernandez initially discovered that a precinct in the small town of Marysville had a voter turnout that was roughly 35% lower than neighboring precincts. Interesting. St. Clair County Clerk Jay DeBoyer performed an investigation as a result of Hernandez's findings, and he discovered that absentee ballots in the precinct were not counted because of a mistake that was made by the clerk's office. After the mistake was corrected, Trump gained an additional 500 votes. Well then, just tack that on to another mistake, like the 138,000 votes in Wisconsin that showed up, or the strange tightening of Kenosha County in the middle of the night as well, or what's currently happening in Philadelphia, where, like I said before, Joe Biden's outperforming Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in the African American community. Something is clearly fishy in Michigan right now, and I think we'll get to the bottom of it. The fact that one lawsuit was thrown out, there are several other appeals courts and more courts they can get kicked up to, because that seems to just be partisan hackery if you're just looking at the evidence that's out there right now. Honestly, I'm with a lot of people right now. Just tell us who won. Stop with all of these fucking interesting vote dumps that seem to happen in the middle of the night or whenever people aren't around to verify the authenticity of the results. But there's a group that's coming out there. You might have heard of them before, the Walkaway Campaign. And they're going to be heading down tomorrow morning to Cobo Hall. And at least somebody's doing something about it, because very few elected GOP representatives are actually speaking out and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Because Michigan, even though it's been called for a day and a half at this point for Biden, something clearly fucking goofy is going on there, especially in Wayne County. Wayne County, that's Detroit. That's a county that Detroit's in anyways. Between them and there's another smaller county off to the side where some other fucked up shit's going on, but this is the one where we actually have some sort of evidence, and it's enough to kind of probe it a little bit deeper. And it's weird because all of these lawsuits and all of these inquiries going into the authenticity of this election, it's only coming from one side. And that really gets the noggin jogging as well, because you know what? Both sides should want an official, authentic result to this election. That'll put a lot of people's minds at ease. For all of you idiots out there that think that, oh my God, if Trump loses under any circumstances, it's just going to be riots. Can you legitimately tell us when the right has come out in a massive way and has rioted like the left has? I'll wait, because I can't think of one. And if you're going to say something stupid like, oh, the KKK marching in Alabama, go fuck off. Legitimately, there's 5,400 registered Klan members in, I don't know, the fucking Western world at this point. It's a minuscule number, and the only side that's actually calling for racial segregation is, the supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement. But that is another topic for another time. But you guys should know what's going on in Michigan right now, because that's not going to end. And it's looking very fucking weird. And this is still, even 2-3 days after the election, we are nowhere near knowing when this is going to end, how this is going to end. I think we just want it to end at this point. But I thank you very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.